to also keep in mind. For mousesports, it's definitely not out of the equation for them to get a 2-0, but they need to be able to prove exactly what is on offer. Their last result in the last 3 months was against Liquid in Cologne. That was a 16-12.
Let's map 2 of our series and see whether mousesports can put that 2-0 on the table. Big set in with the defaults of the pistol, round double flash and smoke for Tabs, double flash and HE for Tizian. I imagine that's a smoke down to the B doors position. Tizian setting up his flashbangs and his HE. That plume of smoke go in, try to drive the CT players out of position, provide a little bit of cover as they make their way out. The flashes will go over without use of the smoke at the B doors, but allows Frozen a big line into the B site. Gets that first kill on Keto, taps manically to try to deal with Sears, and eventually a core lines up on Tabson for a 5 versus 3 now. Rops will get overwhelmed with the bomb, gets towards the site. Sears challenge still as he will try to look for the plants.
Beamer's coming in from the back lines, out from the upper tunnels. Doesn't deny that bomb from going down, so it does get planted, but Sirison falls instantly. And it all comes down to Gay to try and see if he can get some magic to happen, but everyone peeking in together. There is a bomb down, so Big can't afford to go in for the force fire. But mousesports, it was a great start. It was those early couple of kills before the bomb could even think about crossing into the site that made the most.
Big start for mousesports in that one, just barely holding on to the retake in that, but a 1v3 at the end of it. The last player just sandwiched between all 3 entryways in the site and falling down for it to a pistol again for the CT Forces, and mousesports to carry on their map win into a early pistol round. And for a CT start, that's definitely encouraging. You expect Big to be better on the T half here.
Well, this is the first pistol round victory to come through from mousesports in the series. Big were 2 for 2 out for Nuke. Now the international squad getting one back themselves, putting an 8 out to the upper tunnels, which is going to be evaded by Gade. Now, they did take the early long control in the last round. They're doing the same in the second.
Flashes continue to go over as the SMGs try and find a new way to work in a long. Meanwhile, in mid, Big will act. One SMG closer to CT Forces, Tizian evading bullets. Khalil comes out, finds one individual, finds Frozen first and foremost. Rock can trade back, Gade gets involved. Overall, Big will maintain the man advantage, 4v3 with the bomb going down.
It's a difficult retake for mousesports, and are they just going to back off and save, just hold on to their rifles, buy it up into the next? Great mid to B split, and dealing with that crossfire very effectively.
Smoke set in, ready to go down to the B doors whenever ready. Tabson's Deagle. Waits and baits. Not going to see anything on the mousesports side here. They're so back passive. They're looking for the save. They're looking for the head Kevlar into the next round, as Big will know. They'll recognize it. They might give up an exit frag to BMAS if they're not careful here. And AM4 will indeed win that fight and the second. So damage will be done to Big, making it a triple. Not quite the quadra, but still 4 casualties for Big at the post round.
That is all just extra, isn't it? And knowing they're going to be force buying going into round 3, that then gets yourself in a bit of an idea of, okay, not only do we need to be able to convert, but we've got the upper hand, knowing that the economy is going to be a little bit lighter. We're going to be able to reset them easier if we can get this conversion forward. And mousesports, you've got to wonder, are they going to go back to this early long control? Some decent spawns to come out for Big. That's where we're going to see Tabson try and open up.
The flash is over. Dexter going to face forward to the SMG. Past the blue boxes, smoking as Tabson wraps the corner. Does see one man catch him off, spray through. Not quite 2, actually. BMAS trades it back to a 4v4, but meanwhile, the rest of Big acting out here towards short. Rops still trying to get involved with some damage being done to the scout. BMAS gets his Deegan involved, and the scout of Searson can't catch anybody past that smoker out towards this ramp angle. 4v3 advantage from mousesports, and Keto and Tizian are very low.
And they've got an M4 out from ramp, so a great weapon to try and work with in this situation. Keto down low, needs to try and win a fight instantly.
Headshots are plenty for the man. Needs to be, else he's going down. Time is starting to run short on mousesports. Again, no kit for this retake. The BMAS wraps over. Keto's going to hear these footsteps, try and get an aggressive face in, and Rops catches that kill for it. Frozen traded back by Tizian. And a core gets another frag. Tizian now all that remains here. They tap that bomb once, but they're dead out of time. They're going to hit the full 10 seconds. A core still gets that kill. Does BMAS have time for this defuse? I don't think he does. It's a bridge too far for him. They were a little bit early, and maybe that could have worked, but not to be. Big win the round.
And mousesports, I'm surprised on how slow they make that retake when they know they don't have a kit. Maybe thinking they have a little bit more time than they actually did, and because of that, they get onto that bomb straight away as soon as the short contact comes in, and it's just not enough with that 10-second defuse. Big, they lose a lot of players, so for mousesports, they're thinking to themselves, okay, there's a chance that we can reinvest into an eco, keep the economy low, and now we start going back and forth a bit.
And mousesports saving a couple of weapons in that previous one, and again dishing out a lot of damage to Big. So the key thing has always been the economy for Big throughout the course of the entire first map up. Now for this first half, it seems as well. CSN does land one good shot on Rob's headshot through the mid doors. Frozen caught by tabseN. Keto gets a kill down at lower tunnels. Dexter dealt with as is Frozen dropped a core. Can find CSN at least up towards spawn, so there are some trades available, but just that scout dropping the main rifle staying in. Got a lurker as well for TZ to try to cut them off at the seams. The bomb's going down on the B site. Meanwhile, shouldn't be much left in this round here for mousesports.
It might be one kill. Yeah, it's an extra. And for that, there's a weapon that can be saved in from Bemis. Can chuck that scout away, be able to get over to what was out at that car position. Big get up to 3. mousesports, it's all about just doing as much damage as possible in these couple of rounds.
What BMAS can do in particular, grab that M4 that was dropped off his dead teammate. tabseN, gonna be waiting for the player. M4's not checking the right positions. Not aware this guy could be so close. What's tabseN waiting for? Back to be turned. I think he wants a knife. Nope, just goes for the tap. Gets that M4 back out. Will be a third to the board of Big.
Playing with his food a little bit there, but being able to get away with a kill and not falling for it, that's quite all right. I see the AWP upgrade coming through from a core, and you've got to imagine that when the money settles itself for this CT side, they'll try and get ROPS on that double AWP as quickly as possible. Dexter yet to get up. 0-3 going into round 5.
Guns out for both sides, with nades to boot for mousesports. Well placed there from, I believe that was Frozen that threw that one. I'm going to get the M4 out and try to finish off the job that he started. Players making their face in. Keto engaged, gets the kill. A core. Wallbang headshot on the man. Finds the frag. Molotov's into the back of the site. Might not be needed. TZ comes up good with the kill towards ROPS. AK swap towards it, a 4 versus 3. Dexter is so close, but gets tagged heavy, as does BMAS. He engages against CSN, deals with him out of tunnels, so the even man advantage as the retake comes in.
And with that door smoke being failed, they have to re-smoke it. mousesports in the 3v3 might as well have a bit of a crack at this and see if they can trap him in.
They'll do that much at least, but will they be able to get the retake in? I don't think they want to here. One player falling back. They're going to hold exit frag positions. Even a core's going to get out of mid-control. That one player back over at the tunnels, expecting there to be entryway for tabseN, Gade, and TZ to escape. They're going to go out through mid as they read that position. The AWP still has an angle. Oh, missing his shot, so TZ gets away alive. Looks like Gade's going to get away alive as well. 1 point of help as the AWP forced to run away. Gade does get caught at least by Dexter, and a core barely stays in.
And that whole round falls apart because none of the anchors at B were able to do any damage. ROPS fell, or Frozen fell instantly. ROPS was still trying to hide behind the smoke. And the only way that that round had some give to it was because A-Core got a wallbang shot on rotate and city spawn, and Bemis was able to cut off the lurk, bringing it back to a 3v3. These B hits from Big have been very impressive.
And despite that, they're going to vary things up and try to play the long default here. mousesports, heavy presence. 2 CT players pressing the issue. TZ in the AWP challenge against, and he runs straight into it as the core continues to face. Does get caught up by the flashbangs and the automatics. Now the M4 BMAS that just cannot hold on for long. Keto gets his kill, flashing his way over towards long. Dexter caught off by tabseN, who does a lot of damage, but it's a 4v2. This might already be a safe call for mousesports.
And they're just brute forcing these duels in at the long position and finding so much success. Bit of spam comes through from the smoke itself from Frozen to hope to get some damage. This is going to be another save. Big have got off to one of the best starts they could ask for on Dust2.
Fifth round to the board. Looking great for the German camp to get another good kill on ROPS now. Keto catching him. And every player in mousesports getting cleaned up. And again, it is T's side for Big, so you can expect this to work out well for them. But as you mentioned, they have looked impressive on their B hits. Now the A hits look pretty confident. Not even technically a hit, they just took everyone out towards long and just called it a day.
Tabson dealing with that last player, making sure that Mouse don't hold on to anything going into the next. And up on the CT side, without extra money in the reserve with the loss bonus, you're not going to be able to get a buy together. You can upgrade ever so slightly. You can go for a hero M4 and a hero Orb if they want to go for slightly something more risky on Dust2. You'd have to wonder when the tactical's going to be coming through for the international squad. And for Big, they've just taken this T side into their own. Everyone is stepping up individually, something that was missing out on Nuke.
Orb in for CSN, tanks to HE, gets the kill on BMAS, and this eco starts off well enough here for the T side. Kill comes in easy, and B continue to press the issue. Try and make their way out through mid. Got Frozen to find, got Rops to find. Only 2 players on the B side defensive. They have got Deagles in hand.
Yeah, crossfire being set. These B anchors are having a tough time in this first half. Dexter with the approach aggressively up from the longhouse is being watched in by Sirison.
And come the kills in. And a long 2 players now left in from mid and B. They're going to hunt down every single player, it seems, on the big side. Might walk in towards short, go to that A player, recognizing that there's nobody out here. Rops and Frozen haven't given away any information, so there's not really much he worked from. But yeah, they will walk into that A side, get the simple site take. And there shouldn't be much left for mousesports. It might be worth it to go for it, but they've also got to consider the Kevlar and the helmet in particular for Frozen, so it'd be best to save, I feel.
And they don't have to go hunting. The only thing they're going to be restricting mousesports into the next round if they get these last couple of kills is taking the armor away and adding a little bit more reinvestment forward. So if they don't risk too much into it, they don't mind maybe having Keto just outside of the upper tunnels, just waiting for mousesports to sleep a little bit. 6 on the board, though, and the German side, this is looking promising. And looking promising, it is still early to tell, but you're starting to come up with the idea of double digits on T side is very doable.
100%. That's like how it was for mousesports on their first half. Big putting up similarly confident numbers, and again, this can be expected. Big unknown to have such a great strong Dust2, and mousesports letting it slip through the cracks to get their default ban out of the way. It's still respectable, but obviously they're going to pay the price for it right now. Tactical pause inbound. Seems like the best time to do so.
And no team in Group C has played the risk of perma-banning Dust2, just getting Big's best map of the pool out of there against EG, Fnatic, Na'Vi, FaZe. Dust2 was never insta-banned, and it was picked every single time. 5 for 5 in this group stage for the German side. And with this tactical, you've got to imagine that heads are going to be coming together between Mytha and Dexter to be able to come up with the successful solution to find their second round.
Question is, what is that successful solution? And can they use it to replicate against Big? Can they find a counterplay definitively? Or is it just a one and done kind of strat? If it's the latter, then, well, we might still be in trouble for mousesports, but double orb set up in for the CT defensive. They've got 2 players out towards long, 1 short, 1 mid, and only 1 on the B site. And with how good these B takes are for Big, that's a risk that mousesports are running.
Now, the AWP just being able to cut rotates out from mid. Dexter can't peek in dry. Has to be able to put a nade or at least a smoke down to the cross if he wants to get over. One of the first times that for Big, they haven't used their early long spawns to take the early contact. Instead, they've slowed this round down, start running with the timer.
An engagement at some point later in that mid control, maybe their first place where they'll look for it. Dexter flashed, but not going to peek away from Cubby. Instead, re-aggressive just behind the door. Gade might not be ready for this. Going for smokes down towards that long control, trying to set up the long take here for the T's.
And the crossfire's being set for mousesports, 2 at long. They are driving the attention away from A-Core. That's the other orb.
He must still set in here. Flash is going over, evaded by the M4. Secondary flash over, player caught first and foremost. Keto can respond, taps and gets a core straight through that smoke. And now action in towards long as they've cleared up all the A defensive. Rotators are inbound. Gade trying to maintain his life force here. They haven't detected him yet. Frozen could get caught off guard. Fortis has no idea. Now looks into the lower tunnels and Gade strikes with a kill. Rops gets a trade back at the AWP. Looking away from the gap in that smoke, but the T's can't cross back for it. Dexter does his best, but Searson does one better. It's all on Rops. 1v3. got to fall back and save as Big have slowly and methodically taken control of their 7th round.
And that round was pretty much over as soon as Gade deals with the rotator in upper tunnels. Robs does hit the shot onto Gade, so trying to stay alive with this AWP is going to try and get hunted down by the remaining T-side players. All just comes down to that long take. Tabs being able to deal with the AWP, but tough shot to come through from Robs. Only just getting a pixel onto Keto. And even having the confidence and the ability to go for the long take and still leave a lurk in the upper tunnels to just start dealing with the rotations. Big, it seems that in terms of the reads and the ability they're showing here on T-side, they're so far ahead of the mousesports.
Seven-1 up for the T-side half. mousesports. Great effort with the double AWPs. Great effort from Robs as well to keep himself alive, but ultimately losing control of the round and losing another round to Big. Something's going to have to give soon. And again, we go back to that question of what is the counterplay for mousesports? What can Dexter come up with to dismantle Big's setup? Well, definitely nothing much in this particular round. It's just upgrade pistols on the half-bite. Should, in theory, be the 8th for Big.
Mouse did have a couple of steals, though, out on Nuke on some of these half-by eco rounds. The limited investments. And they've got that AWP out for a core if they can try and set it up with the Deagles. Miss Smoke comes through from Sirison over the top.
Aaron Saneri back towards short control. BMAS hoping that they face towards him. Frozen a similar sort of scenario. On that B site, the short control is the main focus with that AWP. However, BMAS are going to try swing, does see one. Trying to bait them to move forward and punish this Deagle, but Big just got no give.
Yeah, Frozen's been able to find a pick over at that B site, and if they start leaning into this trap of mid to B, there's 3 CTs ready for them.
Flashes in, Tabson, caught next. Keto does deal with BMAS, and now a core turns that AWP back in, so Big caught off guard by the mousesports camp before V2 all of a sudden, and that bomb is siphoned off from his backup. Searson's got to make his way into the B site as Tizian makes noise over at A. That's their only option, and he has drawn all the eyeballs back here with the exception of Frozen, who still has his head in the swivel. The AWP of a core now looking in for Tizian. He's got no util to try and sell an execution, does shoulder bait, takes some shots back, but a core AWP lands another frag, and it's all left to Searson. He will cross by the B doors. Try to look for an exit, at least get 1 kill, so now it's a 1v3 for the retake.
And the bomb plant's not really going to make a massive amount of difference with the economy of where it is, but if he gets more kills, he could do further damage.
Oh, baits in that AWP, but can't get the frag back. Smoke on the B doors instead. Going to act towards Frozen here, the AK in his hands. Scope in, flash over, and still a missed shot from Searson comes forward, so Frozen will land the kill and get that 2nd round of the board from mousesports. Good steal for them, only upgrade pistols again, that single AWP that they had. Now double AWPs and an AK saved into the next.
Dexter's doing some good calling on these sort of anti-eco rounds. There's a lot of these we saw out on Nuke. I think it was 2 in total, and now 1 on Dust2, where they haven't had the force invest, and they've still managed to pull it forward. That way that Frozen gets the kill out from mid, Bemis is trying to bait in the aggression up from short, and Big probably recognized that that's the play that's trying to come through. The A-core is going to be shifted with that AWP in the short position, and they go, right, we'll go mid to B. We'll try and evade that AWP completely, and instead there's a triple crossfire there for the CT side.
Rebuy back in for Big, of course, will come forward, as you mentioned. Not much impact on the economy with the AWPs. Brought back in, still plenty of cash spare. A core gets that first pick though, and Keto and Tizian respond back towards that short and long take. It's all on Dexter now in the back of the A site with it all to do. Tizian's facing up, can't quite see him just yet at Gandalf. Creeping pretty closely, now his head's been seen, and Tabson catches that frag. Rob trying to get a responsive in, turns it to a 2v3, but a 2v3 that favors Big as the bomb crosses the site should get planted soon.
And they're just having bad timings, and for the defaults, it's working so well. Beamer's caught out of position, A-core the same, Resmoke goes down, just allows any sort of way forward for Frozen. This has got to be a save. It can't really go for it.
An 8th back to the border, Big, similar to what mousesports were doing to them in the previous map up. 1 good round for Mouse, responded to by Big in kind, and now to carry it forward into an even bigger lead for the T side. Turning up that 8th for them as they do win the half.
Now, mousesports have got to come in tight and not give away these sloppy mistakes. Acor not getting flashed in towards a short position, being a little bit slow to getting into position too. Yeah, he gets that one kill and just gets instantly traded. And then for Bemis, he's not playing on long corner. He's not playing out in pit or blue bin. Instead, he's transitioning. He's moving from pit to that long corner, and he's trapped in the open. The flash goes in high. Perfect timing that comes out for Big. And these defaults, they are just finding opening kill after opening kill. Rops has to try and make a play, push forward with that city smoke to allow any sort of chance back into the rounds, and even that just doesn't come in. Second timeout to come in for the international squad. Big, they just look so composed on this map, and it doesn't seem like they're going to drop at all.
Tactical timeout taken in by mousesports. I believe they're second so far in this matchup. Try and figure out some sort of way to get them to drop. Try and find some sort of way back into this match, at least in this CT half. They might be very heavily reliant on the T half at this stage. If they get anything out of this, it may be enough. If they can get a decent CT half in this, that could be the difference maker. And Rops will turn his AWP in to try and get that together. CSN caught first and foremost in round 11. Big down by one man.
The first time in a while, Mouse have actually opened up. Kido with the jump spot, sees that player up into the short position, gets naded, but pushes forward of it, so doesn't really take a lot of damage.
Dexter with the M4 to swing, ready for Bemis right behind him. Still carefully placement as the smoke goes down instead to allow simple control back. Flash is ready to get Keto in position, perhaps. Options for Big, but they've got to be careful about this. They're down by a player.
A triple stack on short. This isn't something we've seen from mousesports before. Kido going to get re-smoked again, so his chance of being able to swing out wide and open up some space is just going to be denied for further and further. Big maybe thinking about retaking this long control. This time around, though, there's not even a long player for mousesports.
Tizian starting to walk out here. Flashes over as the AK starts to take swing of Core's AWP. Set into the back lines and needs to hold to that long control. Gage trying to draw attention out towards mid and actually does draw them away from that long presence. The smokes go down, so Big can try and cross here. Still got a heavy advantage on the mousesports camp. Keto just got to get up here, try to get the bomb down. Bemis does catch him, looks for Tizian as well. Double up, two players standing for Big.
Why is there a gap on the side of that smoke and they just get rolled because of it? Tabson at least doing damage onto one, somehow gets a second player. Time is low and now a chance for the bomb to go down.
Oh, Tabson burning a bit too much though, thinking he was safe in the midst of those flames, and little did he know as a CT swung up and caught him for some tag damage. That third will go the way of mousesports as Big do start setting in some mistakes now. 8-3. Big still lead. They have a buyback as well, but like you mentioned, some crucial mistakes in that whole round. This gap on the smoke, burning alive. For a minute there, you thought Tabson was going to do enough to get the trades together with Gage trade back at lower tunnels, but it's again throwing that advantage away.
That schoolboy error in that smoke with the gap out into the cross, and for Gade, he's drawing the attention. He's doing a great job of getting out from mid, holding the B players to not rotate in, and even forcing mousesports to be a little bit more retake heavy towards that short position. Dexter getting tagged up quite early from the Krieg. We're seeing Tabson actually really enjoy the Krieg on T side.
Seen a fair amount of it from him so far in the first couple of maps. Flashes in, Tizian to make his way up, smokes down. I think there's a gap in that one as well, a very slight one, but it could be exploitable by the CT side. Drops his AWP that will find the spoils of war first and foremost. Tizian caught out, smokes clear, Gade, big gap in that right-hand smoke to work with to try and catch off Frozen. A nice open angle for Gade to work with. Rops will not take the blind fire as the T's press in to converge against the Mancina. Big box. Accorders get one kill on the way out, but Rops will fall to the 3v3. HP advantage for mousesports. The bomb's going to go down.
Kido's going to smoke down towards the door position itself, out towards window. Dexter can't find anything. They've got to commit to trying to get into the side.
He's making a lot of noise. Bemis trying to find some sort of way back out. That nade on Keto is only going to do so much. He's got plenty of HP. Continues to get sprayed back. Tabson trying to watch both entries, thinking there might be a quick convergence in from mousesports. Keto's finally going to burn at 28, forced out even further in the open. And now Tabson reveals his angle, so they got all the info to play with mousesports, but they've got no time, no access to the site. Engagement's finally taken by Bemis, gets 2 kills in, but they've come in far too late.
Yeah, and that whole round gets sour really quickly when Dexter makes the aggro play out from window and doesn't find success, doesn't find that one-for-one trade. And for a core, he was so passive, they actually were able to save the double AWP, so they have a little bit more of investment to follow into that next round. It's as soon as Dexter falls, A-Core is on the back foot. He's being quite defensive. Beamers, unless kills are getting floated to him, unless they start over-aggressing out from door and window, that retake is never going to be coming through. And for Big, they offer up a little bit of a streak of mousesports, but they end it pretty quickly.
Guns out, Dexter. Trying his best to return some momentum back for the mousesports side and almost caught tabseN, but no. A core can trade back Gate, at least on the short control, but it's the long presence from Big that becomes the main focal point of split, and the lurk was only going to be so much about this here. 4v4. tabseN is low. There could be potential, especially as Rock takes out a high HP player, Tizian now. Orb caught, nade close to Keto, will take a bit of damage. The CTs extend out towards Elbow to try to continue defending the A site here. That bomb is close to getting crapped up and planted down. BMAS gets another kill though, so that's a second man advantage for mousesports. There's no way in here for Big.
Getting the bomb down is going to be near impossible. They have to take Jules straight away. Keto's got to try and work on it with his teammate. There's still two players up on the short position, and even the AWP is aggressive.
55 seconds remaining. Big trying to find an angle. They're not aware of that AWP's position. I don't know if there was a gun barrel sticking out. Keto's going to plant safe anyway. CSGO doesn't see him. Keto backs up to Goose, so now they have slight positions here. Smokes in, AK looks up. Thinking that a core might be around this corner. BMAS gets the kill first, the AWP assist, and now against 4. Finds that first pick, bullets flying all in his direction. Verta Flash is going over, he's turned away from them, gets behind that smoke. Can't look up to the site, he's going to get caught above said smoke. As a core gets his frag together, and mousesports continue to try and make up the ground here.
That was a beauty of a retake to come in. The way that there's a jiggle peek out from that short position to allow the cross of a core to get the information that he's being pressed on from Keto, and then they just keep flashing the AWPer. They just keep forcing it back with util. They give themselves the high advantage onto the AWP that's already scoped in. mousesports finding their fourth. They've had a difficult time here on CT, but it feels like finally they're gathering some momentum. They're putting rounds up, and they're starting to close the deficit. And Big, well, they're kind of out of money.
Yeah, force buy involved for them here. The Tech 9s, PT50s, a scout. Not a lot for Big in this. How do you go from here? I mean, probably just try that very quick start, a simple play. Try and overwhelm Big overwhelm Mouse as much as possible here. Maybe get a bomb plant, maybe get some damage in. Damage might not mean much going into round 15 at this stage. It's going to be forced up anyway. Dexter sprays through and Keto catches him past that smoke. Now the Kree gets involved for Rops. Frozen gets his kill, his little piece of the pie. Bomb being dropped out in the open now for Frozen to maintain control of Rops. Does get flanked and caught off, but shouldn't go down. And neither should Dexter. It's a 5th round for mousesports.
Yeah, not the cleanest of rounds at all there from Big. Not being able to find much impact at all. Not a bomb plant either. So force invest in round 14. It's going to have to be a force invest again into round 15. And when you think about the lead that they had, the way that they were up 8-2, you now start looking at it and thinking, okay, mousesports bringing back the deficit of 4. They are closing in.
They could still make it a 9-6 half, which is more than can be said for Big on their last map. And the strength of the CT side might well be enough for mousesports. But now to just rest on the fact that they're only a 3-round differential away from Big, and 10-5 still plausible for the Big side. We know how well they were able to work off the back of that deficit. mousesports still have options, they still have potential here.
Keto was begging to aggress up from that short position when they got the info, and the early info the AWP was playing from there. Good utility usage from Mouse, just slow that play down, disallow Keto from making the aggressive move. It is going to be a split into the A site. They'll try to have to use this utility to force the AWP off angle.
$60 seconds remain. Big trying to find a workaround in this short control. All 5 players are up here. Bemis in the back of the A site, joined by a core from Long and Dexter from the Long house. Incendiaries on smokes for some pack. Bemis just took that nade straight in the face. Flash tries to press involved here. Recorders get caught by Tizian, who makes it 2 frags. Dexter and Robs trade back on Keto and Tizian. The bomb will go down for it here. Player spotted at Pit. The scout shot not quite as great. Robs can connect one good frag on Tabson now. Gade also falls back here, and the scout's got so much to do. Finds that first, and no more than that. mousesports indeed will make it a 6th round at the turn of the half. A struggle in this half, but ultimately one they can recover from on their T half after the break.
The shadows, I've come to make a name. Ready for battle, cause I got a thing to claim.
Well, big soar high, but not that high at this stage against mousesports. Their T half going well, but it's still only 3 rounds that separate the 2 squads. As mousesports get to their T side of Dust2, things could still look up for the international squad. They try and take big chances at that playoff position away, Dwayne. And I mean, look, mousesports look great in that one. I could see it being a possibility here.
Especially when you think that it was the back end, right? It wasn't the start where, let's say, they were up 6-2 and then things disappeared really quickly. It was the way that they bounced back from being 2 to 8 down to now having a bit of a competitive scoreline going into the second half, and yet to really see both Frozen and Dexter find their impact when they did out in the first map does have positive signs going into the second half on T's side.
A quick round restore involved. I think Mythos having some coaching problems over on his side of the field, so getting back in has been a very important element, I feel like, for mousesports. One of these tacticals have come in, they've usually found success even in the short and the long term. Want to be seeing his involvement as much as possible for this mousesports camp. And again, only 3 rounds to make up a pistol conversion, and eco would be enough for them. Got to get that first step, though. Is the pistol set up with util on Dexter and a core.
Tabson going for the nade set himself, but not being able to invade into a kit either. Mal's thinking about the late takeout from long. They're going to have a couple of players to deal with.
Shots on. Tizian trying to catch these players. Searson gets the kill back together. Tizian follows suit with another good kill and doubles up. Searson with a crossfire locked, and mousesports just get picked apart. Very effective, very efficient, and all 5 alive for the CT side.
They really have been impressive when it comes to pistol rounds. 3 for 4 over the course of map 1 and map 2. And even just that setup, the dual peek together, the flashes that come in behind them after that contact has been made. And mousesports just really struggling to even get a trade back, to find any kind of entry out from the longhouse itself. And for Big, that gets them quickly up to double digits.
Active and efficient stuff. Mousesports set. Force buy involved, of course, no bomb plant. And for Big, again, it's encouraging to get themselves back into this position here. Need this map to stay alive in this series. And that Na'Vi is still keeping on the tails of FaZe right now. Only a shot in from BMAS, however, going to try to open things up for the likes of mousesports in this particular round. The force buys do get traded back by Searson at least, and the utility will drive them back, disallow the bomb plant for the time being.
Excellent utility usage from Big so far. Tabson getting flashed up from ramp, does go down to a deagle. They're actually losing a fair bit in this one.
3v2, mousesports might have turned it around. Close shot from Bemis, not quite coming up against Searson. He gets tagged to 4 points of HP instead. Gade comes up with 2 kills on short, and it's all left to Bemis. Caught by Searson with the no-scope. Caught by the 11th round for Big. Low HP, so seeming simple as that. Great start again for the CT side, even if it did look a bit dicey.
A jumping no-scope out to come through from the scout. Nicely done. And even for Gade on that backstab, mousesports just don't have that area covered. Yeah, they've got players in short, but no one is looking out to that backlines for that wraparound play to come in. The force buy for a moment there seemed like it was really going to find some success in the 3v2. Instead, Big steal it away and make sure that force buy doesn't come through as a round victory.
Eco base is to work from for Mouse. Bemis caught. Simple clothesline for Tizian. Shut down the opening frag, and mousesports really shouldn't have much to work with in this round anyway. Again, they're on the basic pistols. So there's your pistol eco in conversion for Big. Just got to get through that last eco basis. The Deagles hoping that they can find something, some sort of damage involved, but they are starting to fall now.
And they're just all looking for individual picks. They're hoping that these pistols can open up and allow a chance that that bomb can cross out to the A site. They're going to have to deal with that scout Searson.
Made up. Both players tagged. May have heard the tags as well on the CT side of things. Searson catches that shot on Rops, finishes the job that he started, and doubles up on Dexter as well. 12 to the border, Big. mousesports now down by 6 in total. Rebuy for the first gun round. If they don't get this, then Big will be on for a very simple close to this second half.
It's been a very up and down game when you compare Nuke to Dust2. Guys like Searson was struggling immensely out in that first map. He's now finding a bit more form, and the 2 highest fraggers of Frozen and Dexter haven't really been able to perform here on Dust2. Low numbers for them. At least they get that early tag coming through onto the scout. Legging Searson down to 8.
Bashes and Scout forced back out of position. Trying to look up the position at the top of itself. Swinging a hit for Rops. Nicely done to open.
Now, Gade's going to be able to get a trade back quite quickly out from mid, so that's going to deny that quicker approach of going mid to B split. Gade going to smoke down. Able to try and see if he can pick up a rifle. Gets the FAMAS back.
Can't find it on Dexter's dead body. A little bit too far away from the man. Gade's coming in close for the CT side again, doing a bit of damage to a core. Doubling up on a core, in fact. Both HG's involved. Tizian can't get his skills together, so now advantage regained by Big. The mass caught on a sprays through that smoke, does not drop down to CT just yet. That's a good position as a result. He does phase out the Tizian and catch that kill for it. Almost gets Tabson as well. That Molotov involved. Flashbang's coming over. Tabson can finally get that trade against that player and still holds center of the site as the AWP and the AK don't know where to go. The smoke's clear. Their cover goes as well. The core finds the trades though. 1v1. The bomb still at his feet. He could still win this out against Quito. He's got an SMG alone.
Yeah, it's going to have to come down to the fight straight away, and Quito actually goes back passive, wants to go deeper in towards CT spawn. This allows Acor to just get the bomb down and play out the post plant.
Coming down to the fights and the timing, it seems, for Quito. Where are the dropped rifles? None are in CT spawn, that much is for certain. Famas out in the open, there on the ramp, down at the bottom of ramp. Core trying to take the long-range fights, knowing that if there is an SMG, it might be good enough. He'll plant safe Quito. Not going to go for anything fancy here. Of course, going to have his back turn to the SMG. It's going to be a simple kill. And an AK picked up for the defuse. Patient as anything. Patience is indeed a virtue. So we are 13th now for Big, as they have gone flawless so far on CT.
Tabson's hold on the site itself, when you think that he's been tagged up down to 40, he's getting mollied out from Goose, he's trying to take a fight onto Beamers, and he still gets away with 2 kills. He's making the impossible at least doable, and in that round, gets really well played in the 1v1. A lot of respect being given up to Acor in that clutch attempt to come through from Quito. Coming up from ramp as he hears that bomb going down, just swings out to the right-hand side, gets the instant kill, gets Big up to 13. mousesports, they've created opportunities here on Dust2. They haven't been able to seal the deal very often.
And double AWP set up now for Big as they try and shut them down more effectively than ever. One AWP on that B site, the other one set towards the long control. Pushing very aggressive for Sears and trying to catch this opening frag. He could well be gifted it right here. They're just out of his periphery. Can't see them as of right now, but still holds angle. Knows that he got to get bottlenecked here.
mousesports are playing this clever, just knowing that they are not exposing themselves to the AWP sightline. Now, there will have to be a flash that comes through to be able to clear out this early angle.
Who's going to throw it? Not Rops. Perhaps it could be Shadow. He actually catches a core and lands a collateral tag through the car on Rops himself. So great start with a HP advantage, a man advantage, and Searson even doubles up as well. Great shooting again from the AWP. And now to turn back to the A site where they're slowly walking out of elbow. Dexter that walks towards the back lines. Doesn't account for Goose. Still Searson gets his triple involved. The smoke in Basidian giving us a little bit of cover, but Searson wants to go for a little bit more refaces. Sees the Gandalf angle. Quadra out for the AWP. Probably an AWP ace at this stage. If not, Rops is set to fall. 30 points of health. He's done.
What a sequence coming out from the AWP Saracen. The way that he's moving about, the way that he's working with the information, even helping out the defense out from ramp to defend up against the short players. Robs has now been spotted out from the short position, looking to try and see if he can back off, try and hold on to the AK, not to be at all. The AWPs together get the ace. It's not quite the ace for Saracen. 14 on the board for Big, and mousesports, maybe they have to think to themselves now, do we force buy and try not to play for OT, or eco and play for OT?
Well, third tactical to make that decision, but if they go to try play for OT, that is going to be 9 rounds in a row that they got to get. Searson, what a play. What a big moment for him. Big can at least relish in the success that they've had so far, but knowing that Na'Vi and FaZe is still drawn at 10 apiece, still got questions to ask whether or not FaZe can still take that win and being down by a map as well. Again, Big's entire fate is not quite within their grasp, so I imagine someone from the office is keeping their eyes on that A stream. Big's full focus on mousesports is paying off for them. Still scoreless on the second half for the Mouseplat camp.
Yeah, they've had a difficult time on T-side. Big have really set the pace, and now they're running double AWPs on Taquito and for Saracen. They've got Tabson on the AK. Everyone is delivering. No one is putting low numbers down, unlike the mousesports side. Dexter and Frozen still on 5 and 7 kills, respectively.
And for Dexter as well, considering he was on nearly 30 in that first map, to see him drop to just 5 in the second, in round 21 of the second. Crucial amount of picks being taken away from mousesports. Unfortunately, his calls have not been able to outplay the big side on the CT or T halves. Tabson set in at CT, spawns, sees the smoke coming in, gonna try to push ahead of it, a re-smoke down, Incendiary to block them, and nade could do some damage, and indeed it will. 2 players gonna burn. Bemis and Dexter also tagged up, Gade gets involved with the AUG, and well, the whole round falls apart for the T side.
Yeah, this half buy is not working out well at all. There is a chance of being able to deal with some of the B-side players. It all comes down to a matter of timing, even out to Big Box. They've got no idea the Org is playing from there.
He must have snuck his way over the side. Not quite ready for that. That's 2 kills. The bomb is still out towards mid, and he's made some noise coming back through the tunnel's entrance. I know that position is particularly clear, so smoke towards B doors. They'll get a bomb plant in this at least here, mousesports. Beamer's still hunting for more, though. If he can get a triple kill, that might be enough.
Oh, this looks good. This looks promising for mousesports. They're going to get the bomb down. They've got an Org and a scout to work with.
Frozen. Incendiary out of position, though. Gonna have to play the pistol up close and personal. The burst fire back towards tunnels. AUG fires up. Frozen gets caught back. Beamer's got to go full ace, and unfortunately, that's a little bit too much for him. Great insertion into the B site, but it's a shame it didn't lead anywhere for mousesports. It's map point for Big. 9 map points for Big. mousesports got a bomb plant bonus, so there will be money going into this buy up, but got to go so far into the future to gain this overtime back.
Big have been the far better team here on Dust2, even in that round where it looks like there's disadvantages, where it looks like opportunities are being found for mousesports in that post-part. They still give it the best college try in for that retake, make it work, get up to 15. They could get to 16 right here.
Shots out from Keto, flashes getting out of dodge here as the T's make their way quickly up towards that long position. Keto thinking of an overface. He actually catches the kill for Dexter, so first man down. Second AK is close for Robster. Molotov evades car entirely. It hits the wall instead, and the Orc can continue facing as the core does find one trade back at Tabson, getting aggressive towards that mid control. He's punished for that play.
Unnecessary move for Tabson to make that. They've got 5-on-4, why aggress all the way up to top mid, and instead, now that gives an opportunity for Acor to strike back, allow mousesports to start regaining this mid position. Acor waiting for another face out from short.
Up in for Searson. Had many a great sequence so far. Sadly, that's not quite the start of the sequence he wanted to get. Incendiary's in, Nade's back to his position. Reface is going to be a bit difficult, and they're going to catch his shoulder as a result. Bemis gets the advantage now for mousesports. Sees that second AWP and goes massive again. 23 kills, 24 kills, as he just triple entries, dry facing in from short. And there's one man to make up the room that mousesports have left in this map up. It's been him so far. What a sequence.
He's been keeping them in the game. He's been the guy to look at to convert the rounds itself. And all it shows in that one right there is that as soon as Big offer up the chance of bringing it back to a 4v4, things go sour very quickly. Gade's got to hold on to his rifle over at that B side. Now, money is still relatively strong. Tizian, Sirison, and Tabson have got a fair bit between them. Gade is going to have slightly limited, so they will be able to get a buy together. I wonder if they go double orbs again.
Possible. Got the money for it, so Tizian's going to buy one, pass that off to Keto. I think it might be the drop top instead. Nope, Searson gets the second one out, so there you go. Big green's out for 2 big players. mousesports' troubles are not over yet. They have gained an all-important round, though. That is their first on the T side, and their first of 9 in a row that they need.
Is it too late? Is going to be the question. Nade out towards that long house to start off. Tizian with the spray does a lot of damage, but it's actually Bemis that starts off again.
Great kill found. Burst fire at Tabson holds on for a little bit more here. Somebody else makes their way forward. The Incendiaries continue pressing a core. Back out of dodge and continuing to face forward, but it's just seeing still nothing. They wait and bait. Bet there'll be some CT aggression.
It all just comes down to what do Big make the play in terms of an info moment. Keto's going to use that AWP back out from mid. Mouse have really been silent in the approach. After that early contact out from long, there's been silence for the next 30 seconds.
CS, I'm hoping he can get loud here on the A site. Lone defender smokes up elbow, covers him off from the cross position, waiting for them to make their way in from ramp, and then gets that kill on Bemis. Holds position back in the midst of the smoke. The Molotov behind that smoke cloud, forcing him to reposition here. Teammates have arrived. 2 in from CT spawn. Gate going to try to get up close here, but Searson caught in the midst of that smoke. Gate can still strike, get 2 frags. 1 more on the site itself. Dex is such low HP. If he gets killed up, that's going to be round done. There's 1 man left towards short. Rocks to be the saving grace for the mousesports side. He's incendiaried off on the site. Going to try to force them back here. Tagged up heavy. They're on the defuse regardless. And it's actually planted for default. We can't even deny it. Tabson gets the frag in, and there will be 16-7 for